And then she said, and what about the cabbage? And then he was like, I think she ate it all.
Oh well, it was lovely, but I think we need to get going now.
Oh, are you sure? Are you not feeling alright? I wish you could stay.
Oh, I mean, we like being here, but you have to give us a bit more than that.
Like what?
Well, there's some things you could do if you want us to visit more often.
If you're in Tenerife and want to up your odds of spotting the glorious Great Spotted Woodpecker and the charming Blue Chaffinch, it's crucial to make them feel right at home. In the previous video, we talked about the problems these birds are dealing with. Now, let's explore the ongoing conservation efforts dedicated to protect these local bird celebrities.
So, Miguel, we've talked about the problems already, and
Yes.
now I'm wondering what is already being done to protect the Great Spotted Woodpecker and the Blue Chaffinch?
Well, reforestation programs have been carried out since middle of the 20th century, 1940s, and some of them have been very successful. Sometimes too successful, in fact.
Too successful? Well, in the past, many trees have been planted too close to each other, which prevents them from developing properly. We also need to keep in mind that the age of the trees plays an important role.
So we have some beautiful trees here behind us. I imagine that must be very, very cool for the woodpecker and for the chaffinch.
Well, not so much really, not so much. As we can see, they are quite young trees, mostly a result of reforestation programs. And this is, of course, quite positive, and they will be for use of the Blue Chaffinch and the woodpecker, surely, but in the future, because mostly they favor older trees, especially the woodpecker. So more mature forest.
So these are just way too young.
They are a little bit too young, yes.
Oh, okay.
While some trees may be too young to offer significant benefits to birds, the opposite holds true for old ones. In fact, even a dead tree plays a vital role, which is why they're often left undisturbed in their habitat.
If we have a look, there are a couple of trees lying in the ground.
Oh, you mean this one over there?
For example, yes.
Yeah.
And well, these cases, well, birds like the woodpecker, they can still get much out of it, finding still food in it.
Okay, I can see some small holes in here. Are they from insects or from birds?
Well, good question. I would think more of invertebrates.
Okay, but then this is proof that there's something for the woodpecker to find
Yes.
and eat. There's a little hole.
Okay, so trees play an essential role in general. However, not all types of trees are of the same value for the birds.
In reforestation programs, not always the native species have been used. In most cases, yes,
Yeah.
but some areas have been covered with an American pine tree.
Oh, so that's quite a difference, right?
Yes, the woodpecker may use it, but the blue chaffinch probably mostly not. But this has been already cleared out, so there has been some logging to get rid of this exotic species to some extent.
And we also talked about wildfires. Is there
Yes.
something that is being done to prevent those?
Yes. For example, there's a lot of supervision in order to avoid all possible things that can be the cause of a fire being done. For example, and then measures. For example, when a heat wave arrives, paths are closed for pedestrians. And for example, grill areas get closed during those periods.
What? Oh, that's a shame. I was so looking forward to it.
Are we gonna have a barbecue now? That's
Oh.
perfect.
Oh, really? You think so?
Yeah, I mean, everything's here.
Yes.
Okay, maybe not.
And are there other things that people in general or tourists that come here should not do in the forest to prevent fires?
Well, yes, to prevent fires, they should make no fire, also leave no rubbish, and extinguish a cigarette very well before throwing it in a rubbish bin.
Where there's a risk of fire, it's usually also really dry. Speaking of dryness,
Drought, we already touched on that, is also really big problem. Is something being done about the water problem, that birds don't find enough water from time to time?
Well, yes, some points with water have been established. Still, we could do more about it, but that helps especially during especially summer months, which is perhaps a little bit more critical period.
finally, the ongoing research is important to better understand the ecosystem and the birds themselves. We also need to keep in mind that there's still so much we don't know.
Research has been a very important tool. We need to know about their populations, what problems they are facing, and so on. We just have to think that new species are being discovered constantly.
Yeah. That brings me to my next question, actually. How effective are all these things that are already being done now?
Well, we could say those species of birds have been increasing their populations and recolonizing areas they had lost.
Oh, great.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's good.
It's very clear how the woodpecker is seen in places where it was not found, 40, 50 years ago.
Ah, good news. I like good news. Do you like good news? Okay, who doesn't? But we need to keep in mind, this is just the situation at the moment. Due to the threats we already mentioned, it could change any time. In the final episode, we will talk about what we can do in the future to make sure the Great Spotted Woodpecker and the Blue Chaffinch will survive and thrive.